Yeah, man. I'm super surprised.
Coach, Dayton is in the top 25 at 22-6.
Who?
I know, Dayton, the Dayton Flyers.
Oh man, you know what's crazy about them? I used to study their transit. They used to be really good a few years ago. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're that high. But they do have a lot of older guys on their team. Coach does a good job there. But yeah, I'm surprised they cracked the top 25.
Okay, I got two more for you, Coach. I mean, you're killing it, Coach. You're killing it. I was trying to trip you up here and there. I'm not your friend, Coach. I'm not your friend. There's the dynamic. Because
Right.
some of these, my horns came out, and I was like, yeah, we're going to trip them up with some stuff. Yo, South Florida, Coach, they rank number
Hey,
24, and they're 22-5, Coach. Ain't that a football school? Coach,
yeah.
explain this to me. That's a football school.
Hey, Coach Abdul Rahim, he's doing a great job. First year there, he's turning that whole place around, man. When I say one of the best coaches in the country, I don't think nobody can argue that he's top 10 coach in the country for what he's
Wait,
done.
wait, wait, Coach. I'm gonna be rude just for a quick second here. Is this Sharif?
Yes,
No, I didn't
yes.
know that.
Yep, this is the second. This is his last year. I forgot where he's at. Or Kennesaw State, I believe he's at last year. And they made it to the tournament, went on a run, 22, 25 plus wins. And now he's at South Florida. And he turned that whole thing around. And man, that place, it went from empty seats to that place is jam packed rocking every night now. So he's done a
Wow,
real good job.
wow. I did not know he was coaching. I liked
Yep.
him. Didn't he go to Cal?
Yep, he went to Cal. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, he was legit. Was it injuries? Do you know about his career and was
Yeah,
it injuries?
sparingly. Yeah, a lot of knee stuff, especially.
Is there anything better than a trip getting ready? Nope. For a long journey where our podcast released a new epi, searching for a fade fiend, new fixation. Giving this a subscribe is the same sensation. Started with the day ones, they gave us fuel to support the season. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here for a reason. Notification bells, tap some friends, all to let you know. Check your Bluetooth, connect, talking with Donato.
Welcome in everybody to today's show. We got Coach Stamps.
Yep.
Coach, what has that Sunday been like for you so far?
Man, the Sunday's been good, man. Fresh out the gym. We had kids camps this morning. Then, I
Oh,
had my AAU practice. So was that at the gym, and now I'm here. So
well, Coach, it sounds like you did some work today. We ain't taking it easy on you. I got a couple pages of topics. We about to
yeah,
start firing at you, Coach.
for sure.
Is the elbow good? Can you catch and release?
Oh, all day, man. Still the best
All
shooter around, man.
right. Hey, Coach. Before we get started, though, so Coach, was you a gunner? Was you a gunner when you played in college? We'll go to college. Was you a gunner
No, man.
or
I
you
was
got a
more.
conscience?
I got a conscience. After I see the first two then go, I'm getting to the basket. Get myself going. But I will let it fly though for sure.
Coach, what do you think? I play a lot of pickup ball. I'm still playing twice a week.
Uh,
Coach, is there a time where a person should feel bad because I just took two, maybe three shots in a row? I was open or something, but
right.
should you have a conscience?
It depends on what your role is on the team. If you're the
Oh,
guy, you should have no conscience. Like, you're the guy on the team, who got us in position to where we are today. If you're a role player, you shoot two or three, you miss, it's okay. Maybe I should move the next one or, get something to the basket, get myself going. But, it really just depends your role on the team. For me, I like to tell all my guys to stay aggressive,
yeah.
1 through 5, just to keep, get them going. But yeah, at a certain level, you get that kind where, okay, well, I missed my last three. Maybe this guy will hit one next to me. So, stuff like that. But yeah, it just depends what level you're at where you got to check that.
All right, Coach, I'm about to read something off to you. Victor
Sure.
Wembanyama this season, fastest player to reach 1,000 points, 500 or more rebounds, 150 more blocks in their career.
Right.
First player in NBA history to average 5-5 over a 2-game span. Youngest player to record a 5-5. Only 15 players have ever had a 5-5 game. Youngest player to record a 20-20 game. Youngest player to record a triple-double with blocks. Youngest center to record a triple-double. Youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double with 0 turnovers. Only player in NBA history to average at least 20-10, 3 blocks, and 1 3-pointer per game.
Yep.
Only player in NBA history to have these numbers in a season. 150 blocks, 150 assists, 75
Yep.
or more threes. Coach, I got a lot of these. I know you like MJ though. You're an MJ fan, ain't you? Are
Most
you gonna say
definitely,
he's
most
the GOAT?
definitely.
He's the GOAT?
Yeah, I am. I'm saying MJ's the
Yeah.
GOAT.
All
MJ's
right.
the
Well,
GOAT.
I don't think he is, but we can argue that another time, and I can't wait
Right,
for that one.
right,
But so I'll give you an MJ one comparison. Second player ever to record a back-to-back 5 or more steal, 5 or more block game. MJ is the only other player.
right. Yeah,
Yo, he might get a vote, a GOAT,
100%.
because of that.
Right,
So, coach, leading the NBA in blocks, leading the
right,
NBA in stocks.
right.
That's a steal and block.
Yep.
His blocks in February were 33. The entire Knicks only had 32. The
Right,
entire Pistons only had 30.
right.
Yo, is this the new face of the NBA, coach?
Man, it's tough. But the thing I would say
No.
about Victor, before coming in, I was telling people all the time, I was like, he played in the Euro League and he didn't miss one game. So he's done a great job of taking care of his body.
Yeah.
And he's played against guys who actually get under him and play defense. I'm not saying people in the NBA don't play defense, but the Euro League takes more stuff, more competitive, more serious over there. So I'm not surprised that he's doing that right now. I think the one thing that I am surprised about is how efficient he's scoring the ball right now. Because defensively, I thought he was gonna be fine. I thought he was being a contender for defensive player of the year. But things he's doing offensively is more surprising than anything else. So
So, coach, who is the face of the NBA then?
it's tough. I've been having this back and forth with my boys. I'm gonna say Anthony Edwards, just because he has the personality, but he also has the skill set to go with it. He's super dynamic. Can finish in transition, super athletic, can shoot. Score 3 level score, but he's also a dog on the defensive end as well too. But also off the court, the guy's super likable. I don't know how you can't, like a guy like Anthony Edwards, from his post game interviews, to his interviews, with other reporters. The guy's just super likable, and a family man at that too. So, but there's no really wrong answer. People are gonna say Ant, people are gonna say Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Luca's in that conversation. Some people may put Tatum. But if I had to choose, I think it'd be Anthony Edwards, and I wouldn't be mad if anybody said Shea or Luca. So
Well, I wanted to be mad, coach. I wanted you to say something so I could argue against you. I wanted to get this going. Coach, this is our first one. We're going to do many. That's why this is episode 129 Basketball with Coach number 1. They already know that in the title. But I don't know if we should be getting along, Coach. We going to figure out this dynamic.
right, most definitely.
But I like that, though, because the very next thing I was going to go, Coach, was Ant hit his head on the rim, Coach.
On the rim.
What a ridiculous rejection. You know the block I'm talking about. And that was to preserve the Timberwolves win.
Yep.
Coach, come on now. You got a guy that does that.
Right.
First of all, he probably get to skip like the next 2 practices, right? You give him that.
Yeah. He can take the next week off if you wanted to.
Coach, you said it perfectly. He has got the goods. He's like everything. He had me from a movie, the movie with Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah. It was a good movie.
And I said, that's a good bully. That's a good character. He nailed it. That's charisma. Or sorry, the kids say Riz. But that is exactly what I thought about him.
Right.
So that's my guy. That's the one I'm doing.
Right.
While I'm on it, Coach, you like his sneakers?
Man, I'm not an Adidas guy, but
Right.
I will say those sneakers I did try them on. They're super comfortable. I think Harden's are probably a little better, but I think Anthony Edwards is next too. But Adidas, like again, a great steal. I know their shoe revenue has boosted since Anthony came out with those shoes, and
Yep.
like I said, the guy's he just has the personality, everything. So Adidas did great by not letting him go to Nike, because I know there was a war between Nike and Adidas with him.
Oh, I bet.
So
I bet. All right. Who is the best comparison for Bronny, Coach?
I tell people this all the time. Bronny James comparison is Drew Holiday, who plays on the Boston Celtics. Same. I think Bronny and him are possibly the same height. They both get after defensively, but they're both point guards. Drew makes all the right reads, and one of Bronny's best attributes is him passing. I think Bronny's probably a little more athletic than Drew, but I think two similar scoring abilities. From shooting to putting on the floor, the passing, Bronny's slightly better, and defensively, I think Drew Holiday is a perfect comparison for him.
I like that. Lou Williams doesn't have a problem with Damian Lillard leaving Giannis Antetokounmpo off his starting five list. Now, did you hear about that, Coach? That Damian Lillard was cornered before the All-Star break
Yeah.
about his top five. He didn't put his teammate in. Coach, you all right with that? As a teammate, you didn't put me on.
If I'm being honest, obviously I feel a little type of way, but I think Giannis knows he still has more work to do to be in that conversation. But I think Dame's and people got to get this. It's Dame's opinion. It's not really, it's what Dame feels. So if I'm honest, I wouldn't feel any type of way, but I also get if he does because we're supposed to be teammates, supposed to be riding. But also Dame just got there, so he's still trying to figure out all these guys, and he's still trying to figure out Giannis. I thought it was interesting too what he said about Milwaukee. Him being lonely out there, and all that stuff. So. It's just a different dynamic than what he was in Portland. Obviously, he's comfortable in Portland, so he can go to the same restaurants and stuff all he wanted to. So, but nah, I don't feel any type of way about that if I'm honest. But also the media is gonna boost it bigger than what it was, and
Yeah.
all that. So,
Coach, I need your best basketball movie out of the five I'm about to tell you. White Men Can't Jump.
hmm.
I'm talking about the original.
Yep.
Eddie. He Got Game.
Mm.
Loving basketball. And you seem like you got a good sense of humor, so I'm going to give you this one. Semi-Pro.
Oh, best basketball movie of all time. I'm gonna have to go. He Got Game.
I knew he was going to go there, Coach. I knew he was going to go there.
I'm gonna have
Coach,
to go. He Got Game.
Coach, I already see what
If
that dynamic's going to be.
I mean, if I really wanted to, Semi Pro is definitely funny. I love that movie, but He Got Game got it, man.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people gonna be loving basketball, but He Got Game when it comes down to it is really, really the best to me. So
Hey, Coach, let me offer you something I just found out the other day. Maybe you already knew. When they were outside playing against each other, Denzel wanted to score on him.
yep.
He wasn't supposed to.
Mm.
It was supposed to be lopsided, but Denzel wanted to go hard because he said, "Man, I played some college ball, So he
Right.
went at it. That was intentional on his part.
Right.
So maybe that adds a little something to it for you.
Right. Most definitely. I love that, man. Anything.
Now we got to go look at it again.
Right.
All right, Coach. For the people who are kind of in the sports, I throw a couple of these other little things in here, like the movie, just to keep them interested too.
Right.
If I just go straight stats, then we only gonna be talking to the basketball nerds.
Right.
I want to entertain the people a little bit.
Right.
Coach, what was your first pair of cool sneakers that you had growing up? And do you have a memory attached to them?
Man, the first pair I think was my first Jordans. I think the Jordan 11s, and it's crazy because my older cousin he used to be a crazy sneakerhead. I mean, he had everything, all the J's, the ice cream shoes. I don't know if people remember the ice cream Pharrell shoes. He had everything. So my first real cool shoes came from him. I think the best memory attached was just me putting them on and going out there to hoop with them. So yeah, man, them J's, man. I think everybody has a cool story about those growing up. So
Yeah. Okay. I want to go back to what Damian Lillard said because I think there's a little bit of drama that I see. And I just want to get your agreement.
Yeah.
So he got traded there. He didn't go there. He had a love affair with the Miami Heat, by the way.
Right.
They were following each other on Twitter. He got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. And then Damian said, I don't have to put him on my list. It's not on my list. Coach, is he just keeping it real? or sometimes do you have to make business decisions and just play the politics though? So I want to know if you agree with the politics side.
Um, I mean, anywhere in sports, you can have the politics side. I think Dame, as you know, knowing Dame's, I don't know him personally, but his people in his background, I think he was just keeping it real.
Okay.
I think if you would have put Giannis in there, I think it would have been more, faulty and fake. But I think he did good by leaving him off, out of his top five, and I thought it was real genuine of him.
All right. When KD was coming on the court, he heard a Mavs fan call him the B word, and he immediately confronted them.
Yeah.
Coach, what's going on, man? First of all, you were a player, you a coach. Coach, would you ever do anything like that?
Nah, man. Especially, a guy like that, Kevin Durant, he don't bother nobody. He goes out there every night. He's one of the few superstars who goes out there, healthy, gives it his all. He even tried to play hurt, during that Raptor series. But yeah, not like a guy like Kevin Durant, who you guys are paying, ultimately, believe it or not, those guys are out there paying all that money just to go see them. They had really good seats. I'm not surprised that fans do it just because they feel super entitled. But calling somebody that word in that instance as he's walking out, I don't agree with that at all. But it's just where we are in today's sports. Fans just think they can do anything or say anything and get away with it because really I say, you called me that, but what am I gonna do to you? If Kevin Durant, hit that person, then what? He's gonna be suspended, fined, and Kevin Durant's gonna be the bad guy, and all that stuff. So,
So is that why he didn't kick the fan out? Because the fan could have got kicked out,
yep.
and Kevin said, no, let him sit there. So Kevin's that kind of a nice guy. Like, would you have done that, Coach?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna take it to heart and say kick him out, but I think he did right by saying come over and like why'd you say that? And it seems like after he went over, they had like a real discussion, and it sounds like I don't know what was said between the fan and Kevin Durant, but it sounds like they kind of got to the bottom of it, or they know why he said it, and I think people get it screwed. I've met Kevin Durant a few times, and he's that type of guy. He just wants to hoop. The guy literally just loves basketball, want to hoop. He's not gonna go talk bad about anybody. He's not gonna go, dwell on this situation. The guy's a real gym rat, and he's one of the few superstars I can, really respect because he goes out there and play hard, and he does. He tries to do everything the right way, and he respects the game.
Okay, I don't know which way you're gonna go. This might be the time where we split.
Yep.
The Nasus.
Yep.
Antetokounmpo has received a lot of criticism, but Damian Lillard believes that haters couldn't beat him one-on-one. Dame said a lot of guys might feel like they're more talented or have more ability, but they could never take his spot. I would put good money that a lot of people talking on Twitter wouldn't be able to beat him one-on-one. He's the top of the line at his role on our team. Coach, you done coached a lot of people. You done played some ball. You done been around some pros. What are you talking about, Coach? That 12th man, and you done seen the highlights. Everybody clowning the Nasus. And what is he? Maybe 6'7"? Maybe he's not as tall as Giannis, but
it's probably like 6'6", 6'7", but I give them this. A lot of guys try to, they think they're better than that 12, 13 guy in open gym, or, they go play and they think they're better. But, those NBA dudes are real. I think Giannis's brother in this case, he's probably not as skilled as, as any of those other guys. But, maybe I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, but, from when he gets in the game, he works hard, he's sprinting, he rebounds the ball well. He's a great teammate on the bench. He's always cheering. He guys to go try to pick guys up. So it sounds like he's a great locker room guy and glue guy for that team. Basketball wise, though, it's tough because you really haven't seen much of him in the past few years he's been in the league. But I know what Dame's saying though, because he's trying to. I think he's kind of speaking up for everybody in the league, where a lot of those bottom guys can, they'll go to a open gym and score 50 on anybody because they're just that good. NBA guys are that good. So, but Giannis's case, I don't think he's that good. But I haven't seen much of him, so I really can't speak on it. But I get it though. A lot of guys on Twitter do talk who don't know the game and they just watch and a lot of them haven't played. A lot of YouTube coaches and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I think Dame's. I mean, obviously again, Dame's doing the right thing for sticking up for his teammate. But yeah, I don't know about this one, man. I don't
Coach,
know.
you had game. You had
Mhm.
game,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
Coach, how hard is it to come in the game? This is a two-part question.
Yeah.
How hard is it to come in the game to mop up duty like the Masters is doing? And Coach,
Yeah.
that ever happened to you where
Oh, for sure.
maybe a team you was on a superstar team, but you weren't those guys, but you at least made the team. Did that ever happen to you? Those are the two questions.
Yeah, man. Especially for coming in those games like that, just where you're on a team where say you're up big and those big those top guys are still playing a lot of minutes, just to withstand the lead and they throw you in like the last minute 30 minute. It's tough because mentally you're kind of already checked out, but that's where you have to stay ready because in that minute you kind of can show coaches what you've been learning or what you can do offensively. But yeah, it's tough. Players can say they're okay with it, but as a player, I know, it's a sucky situation, but that's what it is. But yeah, that's happened to me. I've been in situations where, I'm the 12, 13 man, and then I feel like I'm better than these lot of guys, and it's just the work, man. You got to go put in the work and show them, and when coach, a lot of times the coach will come ask you, hey, you want to come in the game, and a lot of times it's like, man, like I want to say no, but I'm gonna say yeah, just to respect my team and respect the coaches and go in. But it's definitely hard, coming off the bench watching a game for like an NBA game, I believe 48 minutes, and you
Yeah.
play the last you play 2 minutes of the 48, so it's definitely tough. And a lot of guys obviously want to play, but again, a lot of politics going on in that side of the business. So
Okay. Uh, I'm ready to go there, joking about his Hall of Fame speech. He will talk about the time he had time off since he wasn't voted to an All-Star game. What do you think he'll be remembered for? So what we gonna remember the Nassas for?
um. Being Giannis's brother, really. Being Giannis's brother,
I
and
know. I know.
that's really it. Like I said, I haven't seen much of him, but Giannis is a great brother who's keeping his brother afloat, keeping in the league, and obviously it's not about the money because Giannis is well off. So, but yeah, I think it's more of a comfortability thing for with Giannis, just having somebody he knows there, family wise, where he can go do stuff with. That's very relatable to him. I should say that.
Coach, when the Pistons had that losing streak, what was going through your mind?
It just Coach Monty's a great coach, and I love him. He does a lot of great things. But it is, they couldn't. It looks like they don't have no identity out there. They don't know who's who. Who's gonna shoot the shots. Who should be taking the shots. All those guys want to handle the ball, but they really don't have the one guy on their team. Who can go get a bucket for them or do whatever. So they're kind of having like a identity crisis this year, trying to figure out stuff. And I applaud Monty for withstanding that and still showing up to work every day to do the right things. And they'll get it right. And the crazy thing about the Pistons, if you go look at a lot of the scores, yeah, a lot of them blowouts, but other half are really close games. So
Yeah, I'm looking at so they're 10-53, coach.
yeah,
That's tough. That's
yeah,
tough. Uh so what I will say is they lost coach, it's tough. All right. I'm trying to find a positive spin here. I kind of like where you start. Okay, let me back up. To start the season, they
yeah,
lost to Miami by 1 point.
yep,
You know what I mean? Like that.
yep,
That wasn't bad. That
yep,
was a road game. That's in Miami, coach.
yep.
You know how hard it is to stay focused in Miami.
100%. South Beach is a hard place to play at.
Okay. Now, when we talk about these last few games, okay, Dallas, they gave it to him.
Yeah,
Luka had his 30-point triple double.
yep,
That's never been done with the way he's been doing it. They beat Brooklyn the other day by 6.
Yep.
They lost to Miami by 8. That ain't a blowout. They lost to the Knicks by 2
Yep.
back in February 26th. That was sorry. They lost the previous night to Orlando by 3. Close games, coach. Sort of like what you're saying. I mean, what did I give you? 3 or 4 examples out of the last. I didn't even get to the 10 games yet. So that's good. Good job, coach. You're right. I got a little more respect for him now.
Right.
Coach, what's Mark Cuban's impact on the NBA?
Actually, Mark Cuban's done a great job. A lot of people don't know what he does off the court, but he advocates for a lot of people, especially in neighborhoods. He does a lot of great things. Mark's kind of like not transcended the game, but he's done things the right way. He's stuck with the Mavericks team, man. It really started turning around that year. The Heat came back and beat him in the playoffs. I forgot what year that was, but that was a legendary run by D Wade. Everybody knows that when Shaq got added. Then after that, they go on few years later, Bron and all those guys come up and, Dirk and those guys stun them and, all the way till now. Now they got Kyrie and Luca.
Yeah.
He took a chance on Kyrie, when people were bashing him and, he kind of understood Kyrie. Kyrie's the type of guy who just wants to work and, stay out the spotlight and, do the things he wanted to do. And, Dallas been a perfect fit. So, I love how Mark just lets guys be them, and there's no added pressure to them, or there's nothing added extra. He's done a great job of that, and another thing I respect very well, when he tried to help out Delonte West when he was going through stuff, and he offered a lending hand. So Mark does great things, in the basketball community world. So,
Coach, I live in Texas,
yeah.
and I've never been to a home game for the Mavericks, but they put on a show, man. I will put a home game up there against anybody. With what Cuban does for the fan experience, remember, how many owners are at games sitting downstairs in the floor? So the experience, that's his impact to me.
Yep.
That's why I'm a fan of Mark Cuban.
Yep.
Is Durant being in Phoenix a waste, Coach?
It's not a waste. I just think when they gave up Bradley Beal, or when they traded for Bradley Beal, they gave up way too much. Obviously, Kevin Durant wanted to be out of Brooklyn. There was a lot going on internally, not with the players, coaching staff and stuff like that. People don't know about, but they get it misconstrued, and they put on the players. All those guys wanted out, and Brooklyn did right by them by trading them away. But Brooklyn fleeced a lot of teams. But KD being on the Suns, I don't think it's a waste. Obviously, we still have to play this year out and see, but I don't think if they go. I think the expectation for them is to make it to the Western Conference Finals with this lineup. I think if they don't do that, it's kind of then it'll be a waste because Kevin Durant's years of being this elite scorer. I think the best scorer in the NBA kind of days are coming to an end. Devin Booker is obviously still an upcoming superstar. I think he's a superstar just the way he scored. I think he's one of the best natural scorers in the games, and obviously, you got Bradley Beal, another guy who's just a born natural scorer too. So I just think having 3 guys on your team who can get you 30 any given night, gives you the best chance to win. But yeah, I kind of do feel, bad, not bad for Kevin Durant, just bad for that situation because all these few stops he's been since he's left Golden State's kind of been, gone down. So, hopefully they get it together. But, I think it's kind of, I tell people all the time they've done Monty Williams pretty bad, and now they're kind of suffering from that. So,
yeah, the Monty Williams curse. All right, I want to get some reactions here. These are going to be reactions. So we got one last NBA question, then I'm going to come off NBA because we just talking basketball.
Yep.
So that's why we got to get we got to show them our range.
Yep.
So, Coach, who in the league do you see could get a 20-20-20 triple-double?
2020 triple double. I think Tyrese Halliburton could. He'd be one. I think obviously, uh, who was it? Sabonis, I believe he's been kind of close. But I think Halliburton's Sabonis. Then obviously, if Westbrook was in his prime, he could do it. Any given
Yeah.
night. But I think Halliburton and Sabonis for right now. I think those two for sure.
All right, Coach. I had this on the list for. I want your reactions, listeners. He doesn't know we're doing this. Coach, NCAA men's rankings. Houston at number 1. What are your thoughts?
Best when I tell people best college basketball team I've seen in a while. Not because the talent; those guys play so hard on defense. That man, they play hard together. They're diving on loose balls. They have I think they have the best point guard in the country, Jamal Sneed. They're just led by a great coach, Kellen Sampson. Those guys, when I tell you toughness always wins games, those guys are always a tougher team every night. And they just did Kansas pretty dirty yesterday. So those guys are real impressive. Not surprised they're there.
Coach, one last quick question about Houston. They only playing like 8 guys, though. As a
8 guys.
coach, are you a nice guy, coach? And you're like, no, I ain't never going to do 8. I'll make sure all my guys get run. Or could you make this hard call, coach, and be like, nah, son, I got to keep this roster close.
Yep. That's why I tell people all the time, especially at that level, Division 1.
Yeah.
Those guys are basically paying for your next meal. They're paying your next check. So I'm gonna play. If I was at the level, I'm gonna play my best 8 guys. They're gonna play every night. Usually those are guys who are older at that level too, who's been there 2, 3, 4 years. So yeah, I'm keeping it, especially in conference. Non-conference I may play 10 deep, but when it gets to the nitty gritty, that Big 12 schedule they play. Guys who've been there and played in that tough league. Yeah, man, you got to play the 8. That's the only way.
Coach, Purdue at number 3.
So me coming in, I thought they're gonna be number 1 just because they got Zach Edey coming back. One of the best players in the country.
Oh.
He averages about 22 and like 13, something like that, 7-footer who's really good. They have a great point guard. Cool story about them. That point guard, I believe, was a walk-on and ended up starting as a freshman, and he's one of the best players in the country. Coach Matt Painter usually does a good job. Year in year out, obviously, he's done another good job for them being number 3. But I think the next hurdle for them is those guys have to win a NCAA game. They got upset last year, number 1 seed. They lost to FDU, I believe. And FDU had no big guys, so they got they kind of got the rears kicked. But I love Painter when he does offensively. But those next step for those guys, they got to win the NCAA tournament game and go far.
Okay, well then you this is why we got you, Coach, because I actually didn't have, going into the season, I didn't have Purdue that much. So I want to go back and look and see where people had them ranked. But I'm on the analyst.com. They had Purdue finishing number 1 in the Big Ten poll. Yep. Overall, I'm shocked. I in my mind, but I guess I missed last year. That's why we got you, Coach. That's why we got you. Coach, Duke at number 9. What's your reaction to that?
Duke's super surprising, man. Like, they have all that talent on the team. I think Coach Shire's he's kind of an identity crisis on what he wants to do offensively. I think their issue is they play too many big guys. Obviously, they got Mark Mitchell, a Sunrise kid, where I was at. They got Flip, who's another great big guy who's probably going to be a lottery pick, top 10 pick. They Young. Then they got another freshman kid who's a 5-star. So I think they play too big. They don't shoot the 3 ball that great. But they do have great guards. They got Roach, they got McCain, they got Proctor. Coach Shire does a good job, and I just think he has to figure out what he wants to do offensively. But I'm real shocked they're that low, just with all the talent, especially they had a lot of guys coming back. Just shocked they're that low. I thought they'd have been top 5 for sure.
Coach, I bet nobody knows where Creighton is at. They're number 10. How is Creighton ranked 10?
Oh man, that's another thing I'm surprised about. Coach McDermott does a great job, man. Those guys come in and play the right way. Offensively, they have a real good spacing. That's what I love about McDermott. A lot of spacing and playing. I'm kind of shocked with them having their best player transfer to Gonzaga. I didn't think they were going to be that finish that high, but just not surprised. McDermott's a great coach, but I'm surprised they're top 10. I did not expect that at all. So super surprised that that happened. So, but
Okay.
yeah, man, I'm super surprised.
Coach, Dayton is in the top 25 at 22-6.
Who?
I know, Dayton, the Dayton Flyers.
Oh man, what's crazy about them? I used to study their transit. They used to be really good a few years ago. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're that high. But they do have a lot of older guys on their team. Coach does a good job there. But yeah, I'm surprised they cracked the top 25.
Okay, I got two more for you, Coach. Man, you're killing it, Coach. You're killing it. I was trying to trip you up here and there. I'm not your friend, Coach. I'm not your friend. There's the dynamic. Because
Right.
some of these, my horns came out, and I was like, yeah, we're going to trip them up with some stuff. Yo, South Florida, Coach, they rank number
Hey,
24, and they're 22-5, Coach. Ain't that a football school? Coach,
yeah.
explain this to me. That's a football school.
Hey, Coach Abdul Rahim, he's doing a great job. First year there, he's turning that whole place around, man. When I say one of the best coaches in the country, I don't think nobody can argue that he's top 10 coach in the country for what he's
Wait,
done.
wait, wait, Coach. I'm gonna be rude just for a quick second here. Is this Sharif?
Yes.
No, I didn't
Yes.
know that.
Yep. This is the second. This is his last year. I forgot where he's at. Or Kennesaw State, I believe he was at last year. And they made it to the tournament, went on a run, 22, 25 plus wins. And now he's at South Florida. And he turned that whole thing around. And man, that place, it went from empty seats to that place is jam packed rocking every night now. So he's done a
Wow,
real good job.
wow. I did not know he was coaching. I liked
Yep.
him. Didn't he go to Cal?
Yep. He went to Cal. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. He was legit. Was it injuries? Do you know about his career and was
Yeah, I
it
didn't know
injuries?
sparingly. Yeah, a lot of knee stuff, especially with guys in power forward and center position. So a lot of knee injuries for him.
Okay. This is the last one, Coach. This is the last one. But I'm enjoying this. So next time I might do 10. But
Okay.
the last one here, Gonzaga. How they all the way down at 19, Coach? They only got 6 losses. There's
Yeah.
teams ahead of them that got 9 losses, like Alabama. Kentucky's got 8. Kansas has 8. Creighton's got 8.
Yep.
Why are they so low?
Yep. So for Gonzaga's issue is they played a great non-conference, but their conference not great at all. The WCC is not good. I think the best team in that conference is St. Mary's.
Who's ranked 23.
3. Yep. So I think that's the only team really ranked in there. Outside of that, nobody else is really that great. So another Mark Fee does he does a great job. Obviously they had a lot of turnover from last year, graduating Drew Timmy, Nimhall, and all those guys. So not surprised they're that low. I actually would have thought they would have been unranked, but he does a great job.
I'm impressed, Coach. You impressed me there. I just want to say that. I'm going to give you your flowers right there.
Appreciate
All right,
it.
Coach. You have to choose one NBA player to be duplicated and play all 5 NBA positions on a team together.
Mm.
Which team of the same player is the most dominant? Who you going to pick, Coach?
Ooh. Man, that's tough, man.
I know. I said I'm not
That's
your friend,
tough.
Coach.
Dang, I think I
Trying to
would
make
have
your
to
head
go.
explode.
Man, you know what's going crazy? I'm gonna say I want a team full of Anthony Edwards. I want a team full of dogs. I want a team full of guys who are gonna play hard on both ends.
Yeah.
Make the right reads, play. He's a good passer as well too. He's not super selfish. Because he let Karl Anthony Towns and the other guys shoot and go to work. But I'm gonna say Anthony Edwards, man. He does everything the right way, and he's a dog defensively.
You know he was a football player, Coach. He didn't come up doing
Hey,
all the stereotypical basketball moves. He only wanted
right.
to follow his brother. And does that impress you that he?
100%. And I think this one I really started to like him. I believe it was his rookie year, where he did an interview with somebody, and she asked him, I believe, are you good at, other sports? And he said, yeah, anything, you can name, I'm good at. Basketball, baseball, trash can ball. Like the guy said he's good at everything, swimming, golf. So, and he actually believed it too. So, that's what kind of made me like him a lot more because the guy's so confident and,
Yeah.
you can tell he's an uber athlete. So,
Coach, the Celtics beat the Warriors by 50 without Porzingis.
yeah.
Is it finally time to admit their bench is deeper than anyone expected over there in Boston?
I don't think it's their bench. I just think their top 6, 7 guys are really that good. Um, and the Warriors are going through a lot. Klay Thompson's not the same Clays anymore. Draymond's, taking all they really got is Steph over there. Jason Tatum's, I think he's taking not the next step, but a little leap than what he did last year. Jalen Brown's really good, and people. I think the best addition they made this year was Drew Holiday. People don't understand how good Drew Holiday is defensively, and he's not a point guard who needs all the shots. So, that gives him another dimension of defense, passing. He can shoot the open three. Al Horford isn't be Al Horford, a guy who's just steady rebounds. Makes all the right reads, sit him in the corner. He can knock down open shots, and like I said, all 5 of those guys play defense as well too. So that kind of sets the difference with a lot of teams. Those guys can play defense and go run the other way and score the ball.
Hold on, Coach. I gotta come at you just right quick here because you said something and it kind of it made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. So I'm gonna come back to this one little thing. Let's see. I'm sorry. I lost it. I'll come back to that one on another day.
For sure.
Will the Knicks win this year, or will they look like the Cowboys?
I think they're gonna look like the Cowboys. I think.
Oh,
I just don't think. I think when playoff time comes, Brunson's not gonna be enough. Obviously, the regular season is kind of skewed just because. Let's just be honest. All those guys aren't playing 100%. So I think when the series is getting tight, when it's 3-2, they're gonna need more than Brunson just to go get a bucket whenever they need. And I don't think they have a real number 2 solidified guy over there.
so this was what I wanted to do, Coach. I wanted to come back to what you said.
Yep.
I want to challenge you on that bench on some guys that they're bringing off,
Yep.
but I couldn't because when the Celtics beat the Suns yesterday, they only played 8 guys.
Telling you, they only play 7 to 8 every night, but I'm telling you, those 7 guys are really good though.
I wanted to fight. I want to fight, Coach, but you're right. Tatum
7
played
guys are really
42.
good. Yep.
Horford played 32. Holiday played 36. White played 35.
Yep.
Jalen played 34. He got 20 more shots up.
Yep.
And then the other 3 were Hauser, Cornette, and Pritchard.
Yep.
And there was only 2 other guys available, which is Davison and Springer. I don't even know who they are.
Yep. Telling
Okay.
you, those 7 guys are really good, man. And it helps when your 2 best stars are young, so they can play all those minutes.
That's true. Coach, you're killing it, man. You're killing it. Is Juwan Howard, we're going back to college. Is Juwan Howard the worst coach in Michigan athletics history?
Nah, he's not, man. A lot of people don't know he's not.
They not ranked. They
He's
get
not.
a lot of
They
recruits.
had a lot of turnover, and everybody, all these players talk. They know he doesn't want to be. He wants to be in the NBA. He doesn't want to be at Michigan. So a lot of players aren't going to Michigan just based off because they know he wants to get out of there. And it's the same thing with Jerry Stackhouse. Both those guys want to go back to the league. They don't want to be there. Juwan Howard's done what he's done. He's done a great job. Withstanding Michigan after the transition. But I think it's time for them just to go find somebody. Who wants to be there. He has some health stuff going on too, so I know he's kind of dealing with that. Plus, him getting back to the league, so it's just tough. It's a tough situation, but he's not the worst all the time. And just the way basketball is today, God, the Big Ten's really good, man. You have to go against Purdue twice a year, Michigan State twice a year. Coach Whitson's done he's done a good job at Indiana for 2 years. Ohio State's been solid for 2 years. So, that conference is really good, man. It's a gauntlet. And they play a tough non-schedule as well too.
Coach, they 8-23, coach.
Yep,
If
I know.
you have delusions of grandeur, like it sounds like you said he has, that he wants to get to the highest level, bro, you're not getting there with an 8-23 record. You got to focus on, you got to do what you're doing right now to get there. Because ain't nobody looking at you right now with that record, so you ain't gonna get there. Can I get you to agree with that?
I'm not gonna agree with that. What's crazy is people are gonna take him just based off the name. He's been in the NBA. People forget he was a long time Miami assistant for Coach Spoelstra
Yes.
before he went to. So that holds a lot of weight too, and he's played in the league too. So all that's gonna play a big role. But I don't think his college record is gonna affect what he does in the NBA. He can be 30. I think it was flip flopped. He was 23-8 and winning. I think he'll still get the job regardless, just because his name's Jawan Howard, and just because he played in the league, and just because he was an assistant coach for Spo for a while.
All right, Coach, we're gonna stay in college right quick, but it's a hybrid question.
Yep.
Would the worst NBA team today win the March Madness tournament with ease? So I'm gonna give you the Pistons, since we talked about them at 10-53. Can they win March Madness?
Yes, they will. I would say that. Just because people got to think those guys are 6'10", 7 foot, and defense you can sit in the paint. And a lot of these guys know how to score in isolated situations. In the NBA. So with them getting their shots up is no issue. Then the game has evolved to a pick and roll game. So they would have no issue. I just think defensively and physicality, will hurt a lot of those teams in college, and that's why they win. Not so much offensively, but just the physical part and defense will play a big part in them winning it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. If LeBron and Michael Jordan had a podcast, who do you think would have the highest viewership between the two?
Whew. I'm gonna. You know what's crazy? I was gonna flat out say LeBron, but there's a lot of people who really love Jordan. But I'm gonna say LeBron, but I wouldn't be surprised if MJ's right there with them. But it's crazy, man. These kids today, a lot of them love Paul George. A lot of people. It used to be before like not Kevin Durant, Kobe, Jordan, and some people say Kevin Durant. But now these guys are saying, Paul George, Ant, Shea, all these guys are their favorite players. So now we're coming into a situation where people are actually these kids are crazy saying Paul George is a goat, man. But that's the the world we live in, because that's what the game is, man. 6'8" guards, who need to handle it and shoot it. So yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan's right there with them. But I'm gonna say LeBron.
That's what I thought. Would you trade Jalen Brunson for Donovan Mitchell?
I would not. Um,
Oh,
I think the only reason why I'm gonna say that is just because Jalen Brunson is more of a he'll have how should I say it? He'll be more of a pass first type of guy than Donovan. Donovan's the guy just to go get you 40. I think Brunson can go get you 30 and 40 and still have 12 assists. And he's played well at the ball. I'm a big Villanova guy. I love what Jay Rice did, and Brunson knows how to play the right way. A lot of 2 foot finishes, pull ups, all that stuff. So I'm gonna say Brunson. I'm gonna say just keep Brunson. You got to keep him.
Coach, do you think Steph Curry is top 5 in history?
Um, I'm gonna say he is not top 5 in history. But I can see why people can argue it. So I've heard people say if he wins one more ring, is he better than LeBron? I don't think so, but he has transcended the game where, you got to shoot crazy, from anywhere. He has limitless range. He can handle it a little bit, he can pass, but, he's been blessed for a very good situation, but I wouldn't say he's top 5 all time.
JJ Redick, coach, has said he's arguing that anyone who hasn't played pro don't know. What
Yep.
say you? Do you
I
agree with
agree.
that?
I agree 100%.
Coach,
I,
hold on, coach. Mike Krzyzewski didn't. I know he's college, but
mhm.
okay. Let me give you another one. Let me back up here. Coach Spo
Yep.
didn't play pro because you brought
But
him up earlier.
yep. But the thing about him is Spo's been in the NBA locker room since he was 20 years old, 19 years old.
So that shoots a hole in your argument then, because you
Nope.
agreeing with JJ.
No, I do agree with JJ, but Spo's basically been on that side forever, so he's learned. He's been under good coaches. He's really Pat Riley's right hand man. So he's been in that situation. I think what more JJ's saying is you can't tell a guy if he's injured. Just the coaching aspect of it too. Obviously, you don't have to be a guy in the NBA where where you can think the game or tell him what he should have done here, done this, but I think it's just the kind of like the coaching piece and telling guys the injured part and stuff like that. But I agree with them though. A lot of guys don't know the daily grind of it. How your body feels. The long hours those coaches and those video guys put in. So I can agree with them, but also know there's a lot of great coaches and players who haven't, or great coaches who haven't. Um, played basketball, but the great coach is Mark Few is another coach who never played, and he's a great head coach. So I definitely get it, but those guys are rare. Those guys have been in the trenches. Like those guys are, analytic. Those guys are crazy. You're just hearing how Mark Few came about, and Spo the same way.
I want to go back to one other thing. Then we gonna step outside. I promise we'll 90% of the time stay, but I just got to get another. Do you think Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time? Because although he did play defensive back, which means he had some wheels at one time in his life.
Right.
Come on, he didn't play. He's not that pro prospect.
Yep. It's the same thing. Like Phil Jackson. He had Kobe and Mike. Bill had Tom. You can say he's the greatest coach of all time, but without Tom, is he one of those six
I
rings?
like it.
So it just really depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah,
But he has all the stats and numbers to back it up. So it'd be hard to argue against it. But obviously, the one argument being, hey, you had Tom. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be mad if somebody said that, just because he has all the accolades, he has the numbers, he's won. So yeah.
So then, Coach, if we're on this topic, what's the difference between knowledge and application then?
I just think the knowledge, like for me, like I played, so I actually know. I mean, I can't say that. I know how players think when they play. I know what he's supposed to do off a pick and roll when a player shows in the chest, the ball should be fired to the corner. I think it's stuff like that people don't know. Certain instincts on how guys are defending or how defenses are playing you. So it's just different type of things and thinking. Obviously the verbiage too of how you talk the game will be a lot different as well. People don't know about too.
Coach, teachers who teach and preach but never worked in their respective industries. Using AI to do your research. Coaches who coach but can't ball. It maybe
Um.
all of this. You said these guys are rare,
Yep.
but with technology and film study before there was AI and all this that helped Spo, do
Mhm.
you think it could? You think it won't be rare, and we may start getting more guys?
I think you will start getting more guys just because a lot of these kids. Sports today is just so hard, man. Like a lot of these guys, come to the trials, they get cut, and okay, now they want to become a coach, so they start grinding. So you will see a lot more of these. I don't think you'll see AI anytime soon. But I just think you'll see more coaches who haven't played come up in the game and do a great job. I'm not saying they're all bad. There's a lot of great coaches who haven't played and they've done a fantastic job. So, but you will see a lot more though for sure.
Do you think Wimby should be the first rookie defensive player of the year, Coach?
I believe so. Just how
Oh,
he's at. impact of the game, from blocks to, he's guarding wings out there. When guys can't score on him, so he's actually guarding 1 through 5 when they switch. So and he's done a fantastic job. The analytic numbers don't lie. I believe him and Anthony Davis are 1 and 2, I believe, in the defensive player ranking. So, like I said, I wouldn't be mad if somebody gave it to him just because the impact he's had on the game and the Spurs, right away.
If LeBron gets a statue, do you think he should get one in Miami or Cleveland?
For sure, Cleveland. Just because he came back after all those years and winning the championship, and the drought Cleveland's had, for all sports. I just think him winning that 2016 is big. And obviously, him being from there, I think that would be the one. But I can see it in Miami too. I mean, he's done real remarkable things there. I think that's when you really see the different side of Bron. That Bron was different in Miami. People really don't. People really need to go turn on the film and watch that LeBron. He was different from Cleveland, so I wouldn't be mad at either or. But I say Cleveland though for sure.
How do fans and media perceive Reeves' contribution to the Lakers, especially during critical moments in the game? You think he's appreciated, underappreciated?
I think he's underappreciated. I don't think people understand how good that guy is and what he does for that team. He makes all the right reads. He can knock down the open shot. He actually plays defense. So I think he's a big piece of that team, but for sure underappreciated. People don't realize how good he is and how good he makes that team, from extra passes and just getting guys around involved better. Even the summer too, playing with Team USA, I think that's really where he got a lot better, playing with all those guys who were good. So.
Will the Lakers' schedule allow them to make a playoff push to 6, 7, or 8, Coach? Do you see that happening? And I'm going to read that off to you. Or do you think they should coast coming down the stretch here and not press LeBron too hard?
I think they should try to get to that 6, 7 spot just to stay in the playing game. Because if you look, that 9 through 11 is crazy, man. I think it's Dallas, LA, and Phoenix. Oh, the Warriors as well too. So I don't know if you want to play one of those teams one game because it's gonna be a long night. So I think they should make a push, just to try to avoid that situation. Because if you go in the playing, you have to play 2 games to earn the spot. So. Especially going for the 8th spot. So if they can get to 6 or 7, that'd be good.
So they're 35-30. They're 4th in the Pacific Division right now.
Yep.
To finish the season, they're going to have their last 4 games will be Minnesota, Golden State, Memphis, New Orleans.
Yep.
We don't know how healthy New Orleans is going to be.
Right.
Memphis, they don't have Ja. They're not the same team. Golden State might be fighting, or they may not be fighting for where they want to be. And then Minnesota and Ant. Now that one's on NBA TV. That one's going to be a broadcast.
That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Okay. If the Monstars came to Earth and we needed 5 current NBA players to go against them, who you choosing?
Oh, man.
Oh, and one other thing, Coach. One other thing. I told you I'm not your friend, Coach. LeBron, Steph, Jokic, KD, and Devin Booker have all had their abilities taken, so you can't use them.
Okay. So for my point guard,
I thought I had you. Look at I said that, Coach.
Okay, I'm gonna go Kyrie in my 1. I'm gonna go Kyrie in my point. For my 2, I'm gonna go Ant-Man. For my 3, I'm gonna go Kawhi. Actually, for my 3, I'm gonna go PG. For my 4, I'm gonna go Kawhi. For my 5, I'm gonna go Joel Embiid.
Coach, hold on, man. That was supposed to stump you, Coach. What are you doing here, man? You hacking my equipment here?
Nah, man. It's just, hey, man. I think I got the better team, man. I think it's gonna be a long night for the Monstars.
All right. Isaiah Thomas dropped 32 in his first game back in 2 years.
Yep.
His dedication to the sport is pure. Wait till he gets his timing and legs all the way back. True or false?
I'm true. It's tough coming back to playing that NBA type of style. So he came back, thrown into the fire right away. He's definitely gonna get his legs back, but I don't think ever offensively was the issue. I just think him being his size defensively, who you gonna guard, at any given night. He's always had the ability to go score 40. We've seen it for, one or two seasons when he did it in Boston. So the scoring ability has always been there. It's just a defensive piece, who you gonna guard on a nightly basis.
Coach, I only got two left. I ain't always gonna make it through all this. So these are the last two, Coach.
Yep.
Once the postseason starts, do you think the Thunder have a championship caliber roster?
I'm gonna say no.
Coach,
They playing. I think they're winning because they're young, so they got all the fresh legs. But
yeah.
they haven't played a 7-game series yet, and if the playoffs ended today, I believe they play the Mavericks. So that'll be a long night for them. They don't want to see Luka and Kyrie for a 7-game series. So it'll be tough, but I don't think so right now. But if that core stays together, they can be a problem for the future.
Coach, I'm glad we only got one after this because we about to argue for this one for a while.
Okay,
Coach, that's the most disrespect I've ever seen the Western Conference #1 seed since the Sonics got took out by the Denver Nuggets with Mutombo. Coach, they the #1 seed in the West. Do you still want to go with that tape that you just gave me?
I am, because Shea Gilchrist is an amazing player, top 5 player in the league right now. But when push comes to shove, man, I don't think those guys are ready to be in a battle where less foul calls are given to you, where the game's more physical, possessions are shortened up, where you're playing against those top guys, for 40 minutes a night.
All right, last question. Will LeBron hit 50K?
I'm gonna say no, but also, but I'm gonna say I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd have to play another 2 years, I believe, for him to hit that 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So it would be tough, but I don't see it, man. It's just the guy has so much wear and tear on his body. I'm surprised he's playing this much this year. But I tell people all the time, the guy's not human, man. What he's doing at his age is incredible. The way he takes care of his body is incredible. The way he's there for his sons is incredible. He's a great guy and just an even better basketball player. So,
Jordan, he was 38 when he was on the Wizards, and he was their points per game leader that season. He also led the team in assists.
hey, Jordan's the guy, man, all time. Hey, just imagine this. Imagine he never retired, man. Houston would not have one back to back. He would have had eight rings.
Oh no, we gonna say that for another show, Coach. We gonna say that for another show. That is gonna be fun. But you know what? That's what we did this for. This is #1, Coach. We're gonna do it again. Coach, appreciate you coming on with us today.
My pleasure, man. I love to be on anytime. Appreciate you.
Hey, have a great rest of the evening, Coach.
You too. Appreciate it.